1. So first item, and this is the products. Products have again 0 and 1, but that is referred with J. This is referred with J. This is referred with I. That is referred with I. Now this products of J value is 0. That means it will get that and display here. That means it is going to add the first one. After that, it will add the second one. After that, J value will increment. Then it will add the second one. That means J plus plus you have defined. That means it will increment by 1. It will get the first one. And it will add. After that, so now after adding this, it will go to increment this menu item. It will go to increment the menu item. Incrementing the menu item is nothing but again it will be menu of 1. That's second one. So 0 and 1. It will repeat that condition. So, and after that, we need to add this. That means we have to add this. So to the list item, that means we have the list item. You see, we have a list item. Into the list item, we have to add this unordered list. That means li dot append child. Append child. So first, remember, inner list item must be added into unordered list. That means ul dot inner list item. Inner list item. So it should be added ul dot append child inner list item. Inner list item is added. After that, li dot append child unordered list is added into the list item. Now this creates the list in this way, nested. This is little bit complex and very complicated. This is very old technique of writing. We don't waste time with all this nonsense, right? Why? Because time waste. So we just simply go with iterators. If you see this type of programming, so just ignore, but you should know. Why? Because you must know the logic. This is where they test you. So that means to know how much programming skills you have, how much in depth you know the logic. To test that, they will forcibly ask that, no, don't use it. Iterators. So to test your abilities of programming, so logic, so how you know it. So if you can do that, that's good. That means you have good programming skills. So this is very important. But in reality, we don't do this now. In reality, this is very old technique. This is old technique. This is nested loops. So I will give an example here. This is nested loops. We don't use this technique anymore. It's very rubbish, like so much nonsense is happening here. So we don't want that because we have a simple approach now. You know iterators now. What is the purpose of iterator? Just for in, for off we learned. You see? So first we are writing for var item of. So for var item of menu. That means we are reading every item from menu. We are reading every item from menu. Okay. That means this is item. Okay. Every item is an object. For every item, we need to create a list item. Document dot create element. So li. So we are creating a list item li. Okay. Li dot inner HTML is equal to item dot category. Its category name will be displayed. It's simple. You can see the category name should be displayed and it should be added. That means lst menu dot append child, add the list item. So the list item is added. That's done. And inside this, we need another iterator for var product in a product of menu, item dot products. Product in item dot products. For var product of item dot products. That means item dot products, because every item has two properties, category and products. Products is another collection. Then we need to create where unordered list is equal to document dot create element UL. And here where, so inner li is equal to document dot create element li. And here li dot inner HTML, inner li dot inner HTML is equal to, we have to just put the product. And after that, so into unordered list, append child, inner list item. And into the unordered list, that means this unordered list must be added into the list item, li dot append child, this unordered list. Combinations will be later, lot of confusion. This is a simple iterator. You don't need I-J combinations of, so I0, J1, J0. So menu of I, J of I, that's all very complex. Now everything works fine. The same thing we have done. So without loops, these are not called loops. You see in the loops, in the loop you have to do a lot of work. That is all the loop. You see, that means I0, so menu of I, products of J. This is a lot of confusion. We don't need to do that. We can just use simple iterators. So by using iterator, you can configure that. Iterators. What is the advantage of iterator? Doesn't require initialization, condition, and counter. It doesn't require all the three. So it uses a design pattern that reads all elements from collection in sequential order. So without any condition, anything, just we need a for. We have to need a reference of collection. That's it. That means from this collection, it will read every reference up to end. You don't need to initialize. You don't need to write condition. We can just use for off. So that is the iterator. I told you for in, for off, both are there. So this is syntactically how you configure that. And the example with the same iterator. So nested iterations. This is an example. Nested iterations, how you configure. So this is an example for the nested iterations. Let me copy that. This is nested iterations. Now, once you know this, complex data is asked. That means complex data is asked. So technically complex data is asked. Who is this? Rehan Ali. Yes, Rehan Ali.
Sir, is there anything like for each?
You have seen anywhere for each?
For each.
Where you have seen that? Come on, yaar. Tell me, have you seen anywhere that for each? Array function. We learned map. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
So it is an array function. For is not an iterator function here. Understood?
Okay. All right.
Iterators are only for in and for off. Okay.
Okay.
We don't care other technologies. Don't show your other technology skills here, right? Yeah. So this is how you configure the iterators. And already I showed you different iterations, techniques while working with array. When you are working with the array, configuring with the arrays and dealing with the arrays. So we have so many options. And for array, I told you that for array, we have array dot for each. That is array for each. Array have a for each. Array have a for each. But we don't require this for each anymore. So we don't need to configure or define this for each anymore. Why? Because now in the advanced, we use maps. So because map is a collection of key and value, then this is no point of using it at all, not required at all. So that's the reason we don't waste time in legacy. We don't waste time in old things that you generally see in websites. Obviously, you will see in W3 schools because that is related to schools. So you will see this in W3 schools, people talking about for each and all. That is W3 schools JavaScript knowledge. In such things, you will see that for each and all, people regularly wasting time in that. But in advanced programming, we always prefer map. Okay, the map is very advanced, and we don't even use for off like iterators anymore in advanced. So we regularly prefer using map technique, which I already showed you, because map have the ability to render and generate the output. In advanced technologies, you will see that using and working with that maps. But so those days gone, and you don't have any looping for each here. It is just an array function. So iterators with for. So for off is used for reading all values, and for in is used for reading all keys. So all keys. And earlier we used to, with that, earlier people have to depend on for loops and other alternative techniques. Now you have some advanced options so that we can easily implement and easily access the key and value. Already I showed you. We can access key and value reference with the help of in itself by using key and value. And these days now in JavaScript, we have a map mechanism which have a key and value collection. So forget about all other options and don't even care about them. Just leave them. So we don't need to worry about those options at all. So, and as I already told you, we don't even use a for loop, just like I previously showed you. So I just previously showed you, we don't write like this anymore. So this is not recommended anymore. I, J, K, so many iterations, levels. We just go with maps or we just go with the iterators. That's enough, right? So don't waste your time in watching the tutorials and YouTube videos 10 years back, 5 years back videos, and trying that now in this current generation. Okay, that makes you a very old dog. Okay, so you have to be updated and upgraded with the new features. Forget about all those old options. And what are the new and what are the advanced we are using, that I am giving you complete idea. So that's important for us. Okay, so this is basic approach. And now what is difference between a loop and iterator? You have seen that loop requires an initializer, condition, and a counter. And iterator doesn't require that. Iterator is a simple design pattern. It can read and it can handle everything. Right? This is basic how we can use iterations. And of course, we have iterations and conditions. Those days also gone. We don't use iterations and conditions combinations very much, because now we have the options like find and filter. So we use this very much. Early days, we have to depend on a lot of iterations and conditions together. So for example, I want to just data already I showed you. Suppose I want to display all categories. I want to display all categories, so that belongs to electronics. Then we have to write for where I is equal to 0 and I equal to 0. So then I less than products dot length, then I plus plus, then I plus plus. Then here we have to define a if condition. If we have to write an if condition. If so products of I dot category is equal to X, select those and opal technique now. So what is that? We just use products dot filter, and now we are using lambda expressions. So lambda I will tell you later. In lambda we can just pass product implies product dot category is equal to electronics. This is the latest how we write this. This all those days gone. If you are still writing like this, people will laugh at your code. So people who belong to the advanced generation, they will think that, okay, this person came from very old age home, right? That means old age home of JavaScript. This type of coding we don't see anymore. So this is just modern JavaScript, and this is what we prefer. We don't even care this anymore. We don't even ask this anymore. We just ask for the latest. That means we haven't learned lambda. I will tell you lambda mechanism anywhere. In React, in Angular, like technologies, you cannot go with this type of programming anymore. We have to use some more simplified approach, more modern approach. That's what recommended. So this we need to understand now, how to implement that. Now we will design this entire in one example, and we will see how to work with that. That we will see in our next session. In next session, we will see how to use one example with combination of these loops, conditions, and everything. And we will put in one simple complete layout. Okay, right.